First at 4, Ford got it done. Now, what about General Motors and Stellantis? We're monitoring UAW strike negotiations after the biggest news in more than 40 days. Also, heartbreak and fear after a deadly mass shooting. The one and only suspect is on the loose right now. Residents warned to shelter in place. We're going to talk about what that means. And Kim is tracking your forecast.
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon right now. We've got a few clouds out there, but temps are in the 70s. We'll get one more day in the 70s, and then cool weather comes our way for the weekend. We'll talk about it coming up.
Well, here's something you don't see every day. Take a look at this. This will make you do a double take. I'm going to introduce you to a local woman who's basically become a mama duck to orphan ducks.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, one down, two to go. UAW workers remain on the picket lines at General Motors and Stellantis less than 24 hours after Ford reached a tentative deal with the union. Our crews caught up with UAW workers at the Stellantis plant in Sterling Heights. They just walked off the job earlier this week. Other Stellantis and GM workers have been striking now for 42 days. With Ford union members heading back to work, we asked those still on the picket lines how they're feeling today.
I think that's great. I think that, as soon as everybody follows suit, then this could be over hopefully shortly. I mean, like I said, I've only been here for 4 years, but I've been in skilled trades for over 20 plus, so I get what's going on, and I'm all for it. And I think Shawn Fain's doing an incredible job and his team, and like I said, hopefully it'll be over soon.
Now, both GM and Stellantis say they continue to negotiate with the UAW. Ford's UAW National Council is coming to town on Sunday to decide whether to forward the tentative deal to the rank and file for ratification. If the contract goes forward, local and regional informational meetings will start next Tuesday. Results from a ratification vote are not expected until sometime in November. Meantime, it will take Ford plants a few weeks to get into full production mode as the whole system needs to reboot after the strike. Business editor Rob Maloney working his sources this afternoon as GM and Stellantis continue to negotiate. So, Rod, are they feeling more pressure now that Ford has reached this tentative deal?
Well, there's little doubt that they're feeling the pressure because they know that the rank and file is ready to get back to work, and so they want to see this thing taken care of, but it's an expensive process. The contract that Ford has signed comes with a 25% raise, 5 weeks of vacation, and many of the other perks that we have been hearing about all along. And so the GM and Stellantis now know that there's a pattern that they're going to try and follow, and there are many questions that need to be answered, especially around the EV joint ventures and the like. And so the rank and file out here is sort of watching and waiting, and the talks that we are told are continuing today have been going on actively, and whether they can get something quickly here or may take a little bit longer is anybody's guess at this point.
So what's the perspective here, Rod? I mean, that Shawn Fain seems to have won the contract that he promised. What does that mean for the industry in the years to come?
Well, that's the thing. And one of the things that we're hearing is that it's going to raise the all-in hourly labor rate to something close to $75 an hour. That's a lot of money. It's about a $10 an hour wage raise for the average UAW member. And it's going to be very expensive for these companies. And so it's something that we've been talking to experts about. And they're saying that it's going to be putting quite a burden on the car companies. And in the end, it's probably going to end up costing more for a car. We'll be talking more about that coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and again at 6.
Those costs always do trickle down to the consumer. All right, Rod, we will check back with you later on tonight. We appreciate it. Fired MSU football coach Mel Tucker and the woman accusing him of sexual harassment have agreed to a new protective order on text messages and other information in the case. Accuser Brenda Tracy was in court today for a hearing in Ingham County. Tucker was not there. Their attorneys met and were able to reach a deal that was approved by Judge Rosemary Aquilina. The judge made it clear she does not want to taint a jury pool with any new disclosures should Tracy's allegations of theft and business records and other claims go to trial. Just yesterday, a Title IX hearing officer at the university found Tucker did sexually harass Tracy. Tucker plans to appeal. Today, The nation is mourning the lives lost in another mass shooting. The White House has lowered its flags to half staff in honor of those killed in Lewiston, Maine. The one and only suspect is on the run, considered armed and dangerous. Kimberly Gill joins us now with the very latest on the case and where things stand. Kim?
Yeah, hi, Karen. Good afternoon. It's a heartbreaking reality that's become all too common. In this case, police say a man with a military-grade weapon went on a shooting spree at a bowling alley and a restaurant. 18 people are dead, 13 more injured. Residents in a 50-mile radius are sheltering in place with schools, stores, and doctors' offices closed. Here's what we know about the man that police are looking for. He's 40 years old. His name is Robert Card. They say he was spotted on surveillance video armed with an automatic rifle. We're also told Card is a trained firearms instructor and believed to be in the Army Reserve. Investigators say he also recently reported mental health issues and threatened to shoot up a local National Guard base. An arrest warrant has been issued for him on 8 counts of murder for each of the victims identified so far. Lewiston, Maine is described as a small town where everybody knows everybody. Victims are still being identified, but we're told there was a youth night being held at the bowling alley. Our safety expert, Darnell Blackburn, explains what it's like to be under a shelter-in-place order. But first, residents are stunned that this bowling alley was targeted.
Place to go have a good time and have fun. And then we get somebody who's crazy like that walk in and do what they did, you know. I don't feel safe here anymore.
It looks like making sure that all your doors are locked, your windows are locked, making sure that you listen to authorized police reports, not communicating on Facebook or getting information from any social media outlet. Make sure that you get information from the news media sources, making sure that you're monitoring that actively to see or hear where the suspect was last seen.
Yeah, just really a scary, scary situation that he's still on the run, and we'll be monitoring that manhunt. We'll let you know if there are new developments. We'll have another update when you join us for Local 4 News at 5.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks, Kim. Well, many of you drove through that messy rain to get to work today, but the ride home should be drier and sunnier. Kim Adams is monitoring that stop and start situation, but man, it is gorgeous late this afternoon, Kim.
I know, it was really pretty, especially this time of year with the leaves have all turned and it's just beautiful with that sun beating through. Now, the sun has been replaced by quite a few clouds and there's rain out there, but it's still far to our west. 73 right now downtown, 72 metro. It is 9 degrees warmer today than it was yesterday in Pontiac, 5 degrees warmer out at in Ann Arbor, 6 degrees warmer in Ann Arbor, 8 degrees warmer in Howell. We'll widen the view for you. It's dry here for now, and there's some rain up to our north, but there are also a few showers out to the west that are going to be moving into Metro Detroit, but not until later on tonight. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of today and those temps in the 70s. We get one more day, and tomorrow we'll get a little mix of clouds and some sun in the afternoon, and that's going to warm us up into the mid-70s. But there is more rain ahead for part of the weekend, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Okay, so here's a look at something you don't see every day.
Hop. Hop. Oh, good girl.
Yeah, it's a duck that works for treats, does tricks, and lives just like a house pet. Paula Tubman found a local security guard who moonlights as a mama duck, welcoming a flock of rescues into her home. Paula is live in downtown Rochester to explain what is going on here. That duck has some skills, Paula.
Yeah, it does. So listen, I actually stumbled over this story because I was here and I thought I saw an abduction. Anybody who's been here knows that this park has a pretty big population of resident ducks. I saw a woman stuffing some ducks in her car. I'm paid to be nosy. I walked over to find out what was going on, and it was this. Sure, at a park you expect to hear a mama say to her youngin', let's go find your friends. But what you may not expect to see is that youngin' is a duck, being reminded it's a duck. This is Baby and her mama, Nora.
Good girl.
Nora, a security guard by trade and a mama duck by choice, is adopted.
I was adopted from Ukraine. I was 2 years old. There's too many homeless kids and animals.
She knows the importance of a forever home. And so when she was a youngin' herself, she became acutely aware that ducks tend to become disposable pets.
Around Easter time, they will get these ducks or chickens or whatnot and be done with them by the end of Easter.
And so she took it upon herself to rescue, adopt, and host her own flocks, giving these two-legged pals loving homes. But she also recognizes that a duck by any other name might be a duck, but when handled by humans, becomes more like a dog.
Hop. Hop. Oh, good girl.
Such a clever duck. I guess you could call her a wisecracker. On sunny days and foul weather alike, Baby never seems to be a duck out of water, even when out of water. Often near the crack of dawn, gets a nice bath. After a brief walk in which sometimes a few neighbors need a bit of an explanation.
At first I thought it was a little doggy.
They get quack-a-lackin' to the park to meet and play with other ducks, to be reminded that they are indeed ducks.
Come on, baby.
With a special harness and tether, Baby gets to walk like a duck, swim like a duck, quack like a duck.
I don't know if they know they're ducks, to be honest, because all my ducks are, handled and coddled until they're, adult size, and then they turn into little brats.
The wild ducks are curious and friendly and sometimes standoffish, because if this looks weird to humans, imagine what this looks like to ducks.
I want them to know that it's okay to be themselves.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. You got to stumble over it. So her ducks get great care as well as veterinarian care. They're all vaccinated, but she does like to bring them to the park so that they can have play dates with the wild ducks. And Karen, if you thought I was done with all of the duck puns, not even close.
We have some more duck coverage coming soon on First at 4.
I don't know.
You never know with Paula Topman. You
It's
never
just
know.
ducky.
And I love it. I
ducky.
love it, love it, love it. I love the good news. All right. Thank you, Paula.